Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Roseville Wrecking Ball. The Roseville Wrecking Ball.
Joshua Shrum. He is a very talented steward, very knowledgeable.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. This is one of those podcasts where I listen to every episode. I love what he's putting out there.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. Josh Shrum.
Parcels of Knowledge. Does a fantastic job with that podcast.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball. He is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God. We need Article 8 scholars right now.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the Mailman's playbook, brother.
Good morning and welcome back to Parcels of Knowledge, the podcast dedicated to delivering knowledge to the city letter carrier with your host, the Roseville Wrecking Ball. Today we have a couple special guests on. It's a surprise interview, so hopefully you guys appreciate it. It's a couple other podcasters, and would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure, go ahead, Griffin. Griffin would love to.
Griffin and Jeff walked through 500 yards of raw sewage to come onto the show today. The length of 5 football fields. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, well, this is
walk.
Jeffro. We walk all over each other is what we do. I'm Jeffro, and we got Griffin here. We're from Walk Like a Mailman.
Walk out.
It's like a similar type idea podcast. We love to, talk about issues and ideas related to being a mail carrier in current times. Well, and then we even kind of talk about the history of upcoming and what has led us to today.
But I'm not a mail carrier, so I have no idea what half the stuff Jeff's going to talk about is, actually.
Yeah. But
it's been a learning experience for sure.
We also try to focus on not just, like our tagline would be, it's a show for carriers, but not just for carriers. And that's where, Griffin comes in, and he's kind of like the layman. So he kind of, we have a multitude of different variety of listeners that reach out to us, and we talk to them, and it's also like a little bit of a learning experience trying to teach the general public that listen to us what it's like to be a mail carrier these days and what actually goes into the job. But more specifically, we just like to have fun. We really, sometimes we'll probably go like a full episode without actually talking about delivering a single piece of mail.
Yeah, because you want to keep bringing out my weird food habits,
Yeah, we'll talk about
Sylvester
food.
Gets it.
We'll talk about food. We'll talk about pop culture, news, anything that we kind of, neander into.
Where can we find your podcast?
It's pretty much anywhere. We are on the most prominent ones. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're even we post all of our episodes on YouTube, so you can find us even on YouTube. And then we have shorts there. We're very interactive, and we have all of the socials. So you just search "Walk Like a Mailman." I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find us on a preferred podcast platform.
On your favorite platform, you'll probably find Walk Like a Mailman. Walk through your feed.
Walk to your feed, yeah.
All right, so I got a list of questions here that the purpose is to highlight your podcast, which I'm sure you're very curious, everybody.
Curiosity is killing me just like a cat would be killed by the curiosity.
So,
Is that Macho Mailman? Or
That was one of my favorite macho quotes there.
Have you ever heard of the Macho Mailman?
Yeah, I had him on my podcast before.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
You're keyed in, and that's what we like about it.
All right. So how did the Jeff Insider, Griffin Outsider dynamic become the engine of the show?
Griffin, do you want to touch on it before I
Well, we were
ramble
kind
on
of
for 2 hours?
Well, we were kind of talking about doing our own separate podcasts at the time. I was like starting up a baseball podcast and telling Jeff about it, and Jeff's like, "Oh, I'm going to start a podcast about mail carrier life," and he asked me if I wanted to kind of come on and join him for doing it, and I was like, "Sure, why not?" We've been working together on stuff for years, best buddies, so we can just kind of riff off each other, and I think it was a good dynamic because insider, outsider, I don't know what he's talking about. I can help convey the audience to the layman. What's a CBU,
Yeah. And I think that was kind of when we were laying it out before we actually started recording, that was kind of the concept that we wanted to, like, the infrastructure of the show is, to make it entertainment for the carrier, not just kind of like jargon and exposition of what our job is, as far as like talking about the ins and outs, and not just shop talk. Every single episode we wanted to kind of make it lighthearted. We don't want to take ourselves seriously, and we want to kind of just have a good time, and create kind of like a free flowing, like an hour to 2 hours a week where you can kind of just get away from your job, but also share the experience with someone that also goes through the same tribulations that you do.
All right. What did each of you think the show would be at the start, and what did it actually become by the time you hit triple-digit episode numbers?
Well, I'll go with Griffin because what do you? This is usually my
At the
default.
beginning, I mean, I just thought it'd be a fun way for us to chat. I didn't know that it would take off like it did, but I just knew it was going to be good because that's just the chemistry we have. We can make a chicken salad out of chicken rusty G'd.
Yeah, exactly. When we started it, it was, I think, stop me if you've heard this one before, like two friends just hang out and chit chat and, hit record. That seems to be a pretty popular concept. And we wanted to build off of that, where we're best friends. We enjoy each other's company. We hang out. Me and Griffin used to actually live in Las Vegas together before I moved and became a mail carrier in Seattle. And we, spent a lot of our college years. That's where we met in college, and we kind of, grew together and we bonded that way. And then, as the years progressed, we kind of did different projects together. And then as we, kind of broached the idea of doing a podcast, the main goal, like the goal of it all is always just to kind of have fun and enjoy each other's, banter and back and forth, as opposed to, just trying to make like an actual concept. And then what happens is we seem to have gotten the best listeners in the world, as far as like mail carriers and non-postal employees reaching out to the show and saying that they love what we put out there, or that I guess love is a strong word. They
don't hate what we do.
they put up with what we do.
Yes, that's probably a better term, Jeff.
And so, but they interact, and when that interaction comes, it's just fuel for 100 plus episodes, and it flies by when you actually have really good listeners, which I'm sure you can attest to.
Now, what's a postal topic you thought only carriers would care about that turned out to be a great podcast material?
I'm going to defer to you, Jeff, because I have no idea.
I think just more of the dog bites is always a thing. I always thought that it was going to be kind of like a tired trope, and we even in jest try to steer away from it or tell people to steer away from it, but it all kind of like circles back to the tired old dog stories.
Maybe we should ask for a good dog story, like Gary the mail carrier from Paradise.
Yeah.
He's got a good dog on his route.
Yeah, but we have. I think a lot of it, and touching on that, Griffin, that's actually a good idea. Is that we, when we talk about mail carriers to the layman or to the civilian, they always bring up like Newman from Seinfeld, or like the portrayal of what our job is to the media or in movies or in television. And so when we're actually explaining it to people will give us their first impression, and then try to basically let us know that because of the show we've either broke open those stereotypes or those urban legends, and then or we've strengthened what they thought that we actually did as postal carriers.
Now, what is Mail Person of the show, and how did that bit become such a durable part of Walk Like a Mailman?
That
was a good lead in there.
Yeah, good job, man. You're doing our work for us. We appreciate that. We're
very lazy over here, as you can tell.
Well, I got a lot of specific questions to your show.
Yeah, no, that's what we do too. And when you have a good show, you can tell it's a good show because you put the extra work into it. The Mail Person of the show was probably the first thing that I brought to the table for Griffin, because I kind of did a little bit of research of like finding out what kind of podcasts were out there, and no one really addressed like Cliff from Cheers, or Mailman Mike from Bob's Burgers, and all of these different characters that seem to kind of embody a certain aspect of delivering mail, whether it's positive or negative, on television. And Newman is obviously the most famous one. And me and Griffin were, if not one of the biggest Seinfeld fans before we, that was one of the things that we bonded over. So then that way, I think when I told Griffin that I got the job as being a mail carrier, that was the first comment he said is like, "Oh, so you're Newman from Seinfeld," and so it was already pre-caked into, or pre-baked into, what it is that we do. We both enjoy movies and and television and streaming and all of that. So it was kind of just, and then we just needed to come up with a term for it or a name for it, and that's pretty much the story behind that.
And then I tried to kill the segment.
Yeah, well, Griffin famously is always kind of a pushback. Like if it doesn't go successful right away, Griffin's always the first person to raise his hand and tell us, because we have like a little small circle that that helps put the show together, and we always shout them out. But Griffin's always the first one to to testify of whether or not he has doubts of how successful the segment will be, or the reoccurring segment will be. And he was very loud and emphatic about letting us know that the Mail Person of the show needed to be upgraded immediately. But that's a joke. That's a reoccurring joke on our show. So
did you guys ever do this one?
Okay, see you tomorrow.
Oh yes, we did that one.
Is SpongeBob?
That was SpongeBob. Yeah, that was SpongeBob.
We actually, that's speaking of, we haven't actually done the Mailfish, but we did Patrick, because there was an episode that Patrick crushed the Mailfish and was the mail carrier for a day. So it was literally like the dynamic of our show, where someone that like Griffin doesn't know anything about being a mail carrier had to step into I was going to say the shoes, the flippers, I don't know, of a mailfish, and had to deliver mail for a day. But we talked about that, but we haven't actually done the Mailfish. That's on the document.
Oh, so there was two occurrences of that. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, we did one where, because we actually, speaking of listener interaction, we had a listener recommend the episode where Patrick Starr became a mail carrier. So we did a whole episode, or a whole Mail Person of the show on Patrick Starr, and we've actually gotten pushback that Patrick Starr I guess he was just stood in for a day, and he wasn't actually. I know that for a fact. I know Mailfish, but whatever. As I digress, Mailfish is on our list, but we did Patrick Starr, which addresses the SpongeBob SquarePants universe. So yes, we've dabbled on it.
Well, when did Mail Person Thunderdome cross the line from joke to full-on reoccurring event?
Male person.
Well, technically it hasn't because we've only done it once. So
well,
okay.
I can still kill it. I'm
we
not going to.
we did Thunder. Yeah, because Griffin more than I is a Mad Max fan, or what is the?
That was
is,
Mad Max. Two
yeah,
men enter, one man leave.
And we had so many, we've gone so long, and we're so lucky that, we've actually been able to get to 100 plus episodes, and we had 20 plus male persons of the show, that we thought we would do kind of like a March Madness type bracket. But we called it the Thunderdome, where we were going to put all of these fictional, some were not fictional, whatever, listen to the episode. Check it out.
No, we had Kyle Schwarber versus Bryce Harper in there, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. We like to have fun here. We just threw a bunch of people along with fictional mail carriers in a dome, and one was victorious over all the others. I won't spoil it if anyone wants to catch it and
the real dark horse candidate, I'll tell you.
Yeah, and it was a totally like a 16 seed. That totally overtook everyone else. So,
what's the origin story of what's in the box, and is that a reoccurring segment as well?
Oh yes, absolutely. That's unfortunately it is. I'm playing. Yeah, I know that what we named it was that. Griffin, do you have any idea of like where we came up with that and why we did it like that?
I mean, we liked the line from Seven, and we kept wanting to do the impersonation of it. What's in the box? What's in the box?
Yeah,
that's where it all started from that. And
I think, and I have to give credit to my wife Rachel. I think she's the one who actually came up with it, because we were workshopping a couple ideas, and we were like, hey, like maybe this would work, maybe this, and I don't like to specifically just label something and keep it that way. I like to make it organic and it kind of evolve over time. But Rachel was the one that I think she was the one that kind of nudged us in that direction of we should call it What's in the Box. And then once we did that, it's an all-time. Have you seen Seven? Are you a Seven fan?
Nope.
No,
you're missing out, man. That's a
mission.
Really good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's got Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman. Hi, Morgan Freeman.
I'm back.
I'm probably the most boring one. I don't really watch movies at all. It feels like a waste of time.
Hey, well,
Brad Pitt fought in his contract to make sure that a certain something was indeed in the box.
We won't spoil it on this show.
Even though we spoil 90s movies and shows all the time, we're not going to spoil it here.
Hey, more power to you. We are a firm believer that, any time that you don't spend on one thing, you can reinvest it in others. So it's not necessarily a negative. But if you do decide to venture into that territory, I would recommend personally, from one carrier to the next, put that on top of your list. It's a good movie.
All right. Sounds good to me. Yeah, my hobbies are grievance handling. Let's see.
Exactly. That's what I was alluding to, yeah.
Now, the Tally Mark special, what is that and where did that come from?
Yeah, that's something.
Well, that came from Jeff. Jeff and I have had this this plaque, the Rick Fox plaque, for years and years and years.
Where did it start from?
Beating Jeff up a lot. Well, it started us playing basketball back in the day.
We used to have like a basketball tournament style thing where we would play each other, and as a joke, I made I spray painted a piece of wood gold, and I called it the plaque, and I said that if he could beat me, I'll put a tally mark on this plaque, and then it kind of kept on counting. We obviously, that was in college, that was almost like 20 years ago now, so we got, it got pushed away and packed up, and then I finally pulled it back out, and I said, for the podcast, we're going to do kind of like, because we both enjoy sports as well, we pick games at the end of the episode just for, the sports fans out there, that people that actually, watch and consume. that realm.
And then Jeff occasionally wants to do these random tally mark bets because he's losing in the tally mark game
I'm
constantly.
trying to gain.
Trying to catch up, and it doesn't always work.
I'm trying to catch up, but it never works. Don't know. I appreciate you giving me a little bit of grace there, Griffin. It never works. It always backfires. It always blows up in my face. But it's just it's another thing that we do on the show, and we try to incorporate kind of like a sports betting / sports segment, a reoccurring one on the show. We both pick a team, and then whoever basically at the end of the year has the most correct picks gets a tally mark on the tally mark plaque, and that's just kind of like it's a very simple way to kind of explain it, but that's essentially what that section of the show
and
is.
I think the episode you were talking about was like a specific one-off episode where we would just compete in a little competition for a tally mark.
Yeah, we do.
I think that's what you were asking about specifically.
Yeah. Regardless, and then we do like every once in a while we'll actually have like a tally mark special episode where we, full out, do something like a mission orientated thing, and then by the end of the episode we get a tally mark of that episode too. So we have, like a two-sided aspect of that, but that's kind of the idea of what the tally mark is between me and Griffin.
Now, who is your favorite listener, and why is it Rick S?
Oh, how much is he paying you for this? Is question number one. Number two, is he as much of a pain in your butt as he is into our butts on our show?
Nah, he's never a pain, but he is a pretty cool guy.
Oh, I see why he likes your show more.
I don't know about more. He probably likes yours more.
You like to butter his bread probably more than we do, and I do not have a favorite listener. I have a favorite idea, which is that we actually have listeners. I always say this 110 million times %. If we didn't have any listeners, we would still do this show. We love doing it. We have a good time. We love making content, and we love, having a healthy outlet outside of work, which I'm sure and you can appreciate. It's nice to actually invest in something outside of work. And I hope this produces a very good politically correct, and I'm like politicianing here to avoid the actual answer of who. of whether or not Rick S. and he is probably just on cloud 9 that he's getting mentioned on both of our shows. I hope you're happy, Rick S.
He's on cloud 10.
Yeah, he's reaching up he's climbing the ladder of clouds right now because he's actually got us to name drop him on 2 different shows and getting all of us together to talk about him. So that's my answer to that question. Next.
Now, why did you launch the pivot, and what can you do there that's different than a regular Walk Like a Mailman episode?
I'm going to go first because I know Griffin is probably just chomping at the bit here. We liked the idea and the concept of making a mini-sode. It's kind of just like a little check-in on our personal happenings between me and Griffin, and it's something that's a little bit more of a deep dive into who we are as hosts. And of course, we'll talk about some of the same subject matter that we do on Walk Like a Mailman, but a lot of it is more of just more of like an improv. Like Walk Like a Mailman has a structure, a template, and we try to follow that as much as possible. Which we don't, but we
yeah, because I'm famous for not reading the rundown. So
yeah, but the pivot is a little bit more of an improv, but a little bit more of like a personal deep dive on who we are as podcasters and who we are as the content providers. So
that makes sense.
Is that do you back me up?
Yeah, I mean, the pivot is a different strategy. It's different from the actual show. It's just more of us kind of riffing and talking about various topics and just having a good time. It's extremely enjoyable for us to do it because it's just we don't exactly know outside of like a few bullet points what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, It also helps us reinvest in the show. Like when we created it, we didn't know what it was going to be at first. Let's just mess around. But now we it's a little bit extra of like trying to like look forward to a different aspect of the show, so it's kind of cool to kind of reinvest and make a whole different structure from its main source.
All right. Shane pops up in ways that feel bigger than a casual guest spot. What does Shane bring to the chemistry of Walk Like a Mailman?
Shane. Shane, I don't seem to recognize that. No, I'm playing. He's a friend of the show. He's more of a contributor than even shows on the episodes. He helps direct behind the scenes, and then he is, I would, me and Griffin kind of, brought it out of the soil, but the actual segment itself is Shane's, the male person of the show. That is his segment. And, for whatever success or unsuccess that it has, or those episodes that we do, which tend to be a little bit more successful when we have a male person of the show.
But Shane's the agent of chaos that is constantly trying to take over the show, too.
Yeah, well, that's what he is... We always joke that, if something does happen to me, that Shane will be all too eager to just jump in and be the male person or the mail carrier of Walk, or the mailman of Walk Like a Mailman. So, but he does when we have a male person of the show, he jumps on and he's of absolute treat to work with behind and in front of the microphone. And we
throw a lot of curveballs at him.
We ask a lot of Shane, and then he makes sure that the show stays at the level that we expect of Walk Like a Mailman.
Now, you've had guests like Hillary from Nebraska and Carly from Seattle. What makes a guest fit the show?
The fact that they'll come on the show?
An email is literally the barrier to entry is an email to walklikeamailman@gmail.com.
We want to hear from you.
We are so open to guests, and we have identified, and it was something that we were feeling out as it was coming along as far as having people on. We didn't know if we were just going to have carriers, if it was just going to be kind of, singling out certain people. I think we're very affable as far as working with people, and it doesn't matter what walk of life that you come from. We want to hear your story, 'cause that's the concept of Walk Like a Mailman and the post office. Everyone in this country has been affected and has like some kind of experience and interaction with the post office. And that's what Walk Like a Mailman is all about, is we're trying to, sew together even, a stronger concept that we're all connected by the post office, and we all have a story that, involves the post office. So if you want to come on our show, it doesn't matter if you're a truck driver like Cletus Ray or you're a rapper. It doesn't matter. If you want to come on the show and talk to us about, your experiences. Like Cletus Ray, he's another podcaster, truck driver, wanted to just come on the show to kind of do what we're doing here, to both, talk about our podcasts. And then I didn't know, and I learned while he was literally doing a guest appearance that his mom was a mail carrier. And then we touched on that and we got into that. So it's just one of those where you never know where you're going to end up. And just email us at, walklikeamailman@gmail.com. We would love to have you on. And any kind of carrier or any kind of person that's a non-carrier that listens, we would be honored. There's no filter and there's no gate. We don't have any kind of gatekeeping as far as having people on. So
I'll be on soon enough, right?
What was that?
I'll be on soon enough, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We're hoping to have you on extremely soon and extremely I mean, we had Rick S on, so once we had him on, we're pretty much got to let anyone else after him, So.
All right. What's a listener submission, message, or voicemail that you really appreciated?
I had one recently about. He was talking about how I don't want to assign gender. I've been stung like that in the past.
Yes, yeah. Famously.
Famously, yeah. Listen to the show. You'll know what. I always like make mistakes and make errors on my rundown. I am not perfect. I am close to perfect, but not perfect. I make a lot of errors on my show prep, and then when I go to read things, it doesn't always come out right. But I had a listener just recently talk about how they, I guess, were a mail handler or a mail carrier in the 70s, and they were saying that they famously advertised that every single mail piece was touched by 27 people before it was delivered, and that was kind of like mind blowing because now it's in like single digits by the time it gets to someone like you or me that actually carries the mail. It's probably everything's so automated these days, so I thought that was kind of like a really good idea and a really good, and we have a multitude of comments and listener submissions, and I try to get to every single one of them, or we try to get to every single one of them and try to present them on the show. And
yeah, I forget who said it, but we recently did an episode about the movie 3 Days of the Condor, and we had both seen this movie before and completely missed that there was a lovely mail carrier scene in the movie.
Yeah,
and so we got to talk about it.
Jeff C. from Pittsburgh, if you're listening, thank you. Yeah, he reached out for a mail person of the show, and like Griffin said, we both had seen the movie some time ago, probably even before I was a mail carrier. I totally forgot that there was, a big pivotal role in there that involves a postal employee. And Jeff C. from Pittsburgh emailed us. We did a rewatch of the movie with Shane, and then did a mail person of the show. So stuff like that, it makes you ever grateful that you have the best listeners in the world,
The 100th episode roast was a wild choice. What did roasting yourself reveal about the show?
Okay.
Well, Abby Ice did all the roasting, right?
First of all, we did not roast ourselves. I don't even know if I could have gotten that brutal as far as making insults upon myself. We had ChatGPT. I uploaded. We had a 100th episode. We're like, we got to blow it out. We got to do something. So I uploaded all of our show descriptions and all of our social media accounts into ChatGPT, which actually took a little bit of working. And then it even asked me a couple extra questions, like a little survey. I answered that, and then what came out was episode 100 of Walk Like a Mailman.
That was a bloodbath for you, Jeff.
It did not. It was very not concerning of any kind of human emotion. It was totally devoid of. It was like Anakin Skywalker taking out the younglings. Like that. It was that kind of level of rage, and rage leads to what. So that was kind of how it unfolded for a 100th episode. But I thought. I was actually just recently talking to a listener about that, or another podcaster, and we were talking about what to do for a 100th episode. And I said, that's what we did. And they said it was a pretty interesting idea, and I think it was one of our more successful ones. So,
now, what's the single weirdest real mail story or postal fact you covered that still lives in your head?
Oh God, yeah. For me, it was when they had the people that were trying to mail children. That one always was rent free in my head.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, Jeff.
It's always, I always see that on social media as they bring that up over and over and over again. Yeah, the mailbox lasagna is one that we kind of touch on, where like a news station was trying to basically illustrate how hot it was outside. So they took a lasagna, and it was like a mini little loaf, like a mini loaf lasagna, but it was almost looked like it was like a banana bread tin that they put the lasagna in. They
like one of those TV dinner ones, right?
it was around that size, and they put it in a CBU, and they were testing whether or not they could actually cook. Uh, I don't know why it was necessary. Like, we know how hot it is. We don't need to. It's, I think, to build off of the idea where you could cook a scramble or cook an egg on the pavement. I think they were just trying to embellish a little bit. So when they were cooking a lasagna in a mailbox, we dove in pretty much headfirst on how ridiculous that was, but how fun that was.
All right, we're almost done here. If a new listener gets only 3 episodes to understand Walk Like a Mailman, which 3 would you suggest and why?
Do you have
that's
one?
A good question. Because you know the episode's better than me, Jeff.
I always referred people to one. I think it's number 37, and brace yourself. It's called Nutty Nuggets, and
oh yes, Nutty Nuggets.
And we rated the kind of like the Walmart brand or like the low rent brand, like the poor man, like how poor is that man brand cereal. And this is the kind of thing that me and Griffin like probably even more than anything, is when we kind of get off topic, off the mail is what we call it. And but we talked about the off-brand cereals and rated like how good that they were named, and one of them was Nutty Nuggets, and we got a pretty good laugh at that. But also interesting enough on that, we had one of a mail carrier, because I used to carry mail before I came up to Seattle. I carried mail in Reno, Nevada, and we had one of my friends slash coworkers slash mail carriers from Reno, Nevada on the show. It was a good time. We definitely, you could tell that we shared some experiences when I carried mail in Reno, Nevada, and that's one. I would have to say,
the Jimmy Carter's a century old. You gotta think that one was a good one too.
Yeah, I think
I gotta bring up the Jimmy Carter bit.
That's the one where, speaking of Abby Ice, we had someone submit a song. I'm just gonna say it like that, of Jimmy Carter. That was kind of like a reoccurring bit for a little while, because obviously we brought up the fact that, it's unfortunate, but when a president passes away, we get an extra day off from work. And of course, Jimmy Carter was reaching that stage. And then when he turned 100, we kind of celebrated it on our show.
Yeah, Shane brought that up originally just out of the blue when we were recording another episode with him.
Yeah, he just brought it up like,
He famously said Jimmy Carter's refusing to die. That's how he put it.
We have fun here. I don't know if that's a selling point, but we're not that. Well, I guess we are. I don't know. Whatever. Take it for what it's worth. There's that, and then I would have to say, like, the 100th episode. Once and I always implore people to like catch more of the more recent episodes. We're a lot more polished, and then go back and listen to our old. Go back to the full catalog, and you'll see, how much we've grown and we've become the podcasters that we are today. So.
All right. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, you know what? What about the Hindenburg episode?
Okay.
Well, that was a very recent one.
Yeah, that was. I think someone is pulling the strings behind here. Yeah, Rick S.
We already named that episode after him. I mean, come on, dude.
No, he brought up that because we were talking about sports. And talking about The Drive, which was the Denver Broncos ripping the heart out of the Cleveland Browns.
And that was the episode with the 27 people touching the mail and everything.
Now we're like really filling in the gaps here. But what happened is, what it led to is us talking about how the Browns got beat in those playoffs. And Rick S. made a comment that, what are you going to do now? Like, talk about the Hindenburg disaster, because obviously if you're a Browns fan, that's like a sore subject. just like I'm sure the Hindenburg disaster would be, as far as like trying to make content out. But then we realized that the Hindenburg actually had a post office inside it. So,
it was a transport. It was basically the primary source of transferring mail from Europe to the United States at that time.
It was the most efficient. So it was, as opposed to by ship, if you wanted to get something, it was almost like express mail from back in the day. Getting something from Europe to the States.
Yeah, they didn't have the Concorde back then.
You could put it in the Hindenburg. And so, but we talked about that. We talked about, and this is this is a cataclysm of our whole entire show. It's something that's kind of, general. It's kind of vague. It's kind of just something that everyone knows about. But because we do what we do, we're actually able to kind of like realize that, the post office and this like postal theme and this post idea, like it had a post room in it. And when the Hindenburg went down, so did like 1,700, pieces of mail and shipping went down with it too. And we were just talking about that, but then also trying to do like here's mud in your eye to Rick that we could even make content out of the Hindenburg too. So
now I'm about to wrap this up, but just like any other investigative interview, before I do, I'm going to ask you, would you like to add anything else?
Yeah, we
have to incriminate ourselves further. I mean, Jeff does that every pivot episode as it is.
Yeah, every episode. Yeah, we just would love to have anyone, and email us at walklikeamailman@gmail.com. We would love to have either you or anyone come on the show, which I think we got something in the books for you, but. Regardless, just if you have any questions or anything for us, we would be more than happy to do it. But you check us out on all of the socials. We're on Instagram, Reddit, we're on Facebook, we're on X. You just search "Walk Like a Mailman," all the places. Share the show, reach out to us, rate, review. But more importantly, we appreciate if. The primary audience for your show are mail carriers. We appreciate what they do out there. And I think that is kind of an underlying theme. We may not say it and mention it enough on the show, but we definitely appreciate the work that my coworkers and Griffin obviously knows as a colleague, as far as a worker. We appreciate what you guys do out there, especially the union stewards that take the extra time to represent us. So,
anything for you, Griffin?
I couldn't have said that any better. Thank you for all the work that you do, and you guys. The show wouldn't work without you guys helping us out.
Yes, and then also we are selling merch. We have merch. It helps keep our show alive. So that way, we don't just take this money and go out and buy fancy things. We reinvest anything that we make from our merch store back into the show, and it's walklikeamailman-store.fourthwall.com. So you could also pick up a magnet, a couple dollars or so, and then it's going to a good thing, is making sure that we're able to make content, but more importantly good content for the mail carriers of America.
Oh yeah!
All right, so there you have it, folks. Another podcast for you to go check out. Like they had already highlighted, it's going to be a little bit different than what we see here at Parcels of Knowledge, but there's many walks of life, and more common than not.
They're going to do the walks of life. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Oh, walks of life, yep.
There we go, yeah!
Walk.
More common than not, you folks are you don't have the hobby of grievance handling. You guys like pop culture. It seems like these guys cover that a little bit more than I do, obviously. So if you want, you can go check them out, and it was good having you on, guys.
No, the pleasure was all ours, for sure. And we hope to do this again soon.
If these guys are getting educated, we will be in big trouble.
Management's been weighing you down like a bag of wet catalogs, but you don't gotta take it. You strap on the elbow of education, dig it?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Roseville Wrecking Ball. The Roseville Wrecking Ball.
The Roseville Wrecking Ball is an Article 8 scholar, and thank God, we need Article 8 scholars right now. The Grievous Genius and the Roseville Wrecking Ball doing amazing work.
Tune into the Parcels of Knowledge podcast while you're on the route. That's the Mailman's Playbook, brother.